his name is...
It's John Monday. It is Monday the 24th of June and game 16 is now finished. 15 was an RPG, so that was a separate video. I've had a few of these because game 16 is Life on Earth for the Mega Drive. And why have I had lots of these? Because, oh boy. So, this is an aftermarket game, so this did not come out, especially not with that artwork, in the lifetime of the original Mega Drive. This is a game that I put a pre-order on, so I'm actually in the backer, in the manual. I did do a video of the demo showing off the gameplay, and also pickups video, which, you know, I did an unboxing of this. And yes, I will be somewhere in here at the very back. You don't necessarily, I mean, if you already watched that other video, you don't need to see it, but I am in here. It's like, I'm also in the manual for the first game as well, but yeah, I've had a few to drink, and I'm here somewhere. I'm in the manual. If you buy the game, you'll see it. And oh, in case if you need some TNA. Anyway, oh boy. So I did actually try playing this a month and a half ago, before I got into Skies Arcadia, the previous RPG. Yeah, and I got partway through the game, and then got to a level where I really struggled with. So the way the game works is, I'll probably give a better description. Sorry, I don't tend to be this drunk, but I needed it. Okay, so Life on Earth is the sequel to Life on Mars. Life on Mars is a Metroidvania style game I've covered before, and was also in my 52 videos last year. So this one is a different style of game. It is more like a run and gun Contra style game. So it has some fantastic art for the console in there. Cannot, I guess, say anything bad against that. Some nice music and great atmosphere. I really like the detail that's been put into, the art style of the game itself. Great. But this game is also difficult. So you have I guess stages. I mean, you have two run and gun bits, then a boss battle, and then the game will save your progress and then rinse and repeat. It also has some bike sections or flying sections, which is quite cool actually. They were quite a nice break from the normal gameplay. There was one bit though where I had a auto scrolling level. If you play this game, you've beaten it or got that far, you will know exactly what I mean. I didn't rage quit on that. I eventually managed to get past it. Got on to the next bit, which is you're actually jumping across flying cars, which in itself is a pretty cool set piece. Except, so this game has several things which put together are just maddening. First of all, knockback. Yes, knockback. Enemies which appear out of nowhere and you won't know they're there. So you are making so you'll jump and you have to jump, and so an enemy be there and hit you and knock you back, and you go down into, of course, a pit of death. And there are also leaps of faith, which aren't always that easy to maneuver. So knockback, enemy placements, bottomless pits, and you go back to the beginning of that area. Not of the whole stage, but of that area. Anyway, so, learning where things are, you can eventually make your way through. Except when I was doing this, the game eventually froze on me on the continue screen. I guess maybe I played too many times, got too many fake game overs, but so I had to reset and go back to the auto scrolling bit, and I was just like, so I gave up and played Skies of Arcadia. Fantastic game, by the way. So now I've finished that, I decided to give this another try, and I got past it today and played through the rest of the game. Don't get me wrong, there are several levels after it, but I made my way through this. I'm glad I beat it. I kind of feel like, is this what Dark Souls fans like about that game? You know, the fact that you have to keep retrying over and over again. I don't know how you manage it. Anyway, if you beat the game on normal or above, you get an extra cutscene, more TNA. Do I recommend it? I do recommend it, but if you're not very good with that kind of Contra genre, then you're really going to struggle with this. I mean, there is easy mode, but if you want the TNA, there's even an achievement for beating the game without using the continue. No one can do that. No one can do that. Anyway, Life on Earth. Hopefully, we'll get a sequel. It teases a sequel, but the next game the person's making is a different genre and different storyline and all everything. It looks interesting. The Four Winds or something like that. Anyway, till next time. It's in gaming great. It is Wednesday, 3rd of July, and game 17 is beaten. And it is Specimen 134 for the Game Boy. So this is the final game in the Metamorphosis collection. So this is part of... Okay, so two games I've played previously and this year, being Decline and another game which the name currently escapes me. Anyway, those two games were made some point in the past. They have now been brought together with the latest game by the same developer, and are going to be put together on a cartridge, being released by Incubate Games. Because I do like QA testing for them, so I've been given like tester ROMs, and so I finally played through that file game. So there's multiple different endings that you can get, so to make you play through it several times. It's not like at the end kind of decisions. There are a couple of those, but there's some that are quite early on affect the ending of the game. So yeah, so it's a adventure puzzle game. So you're going around from screen to screen. There is some shooting as well, but there's puzzles to be solved, and there's some fantastic like animation and art in this game. Like this developer really knows what he's doing with the Game Boy. Definitely recommend it, especially if you pick up the physical cartridge or the ROM of it. You get the 3 games in one. The first 2 I think you can get for free anyway, but spoiling the dev and all that. But anyway, it's been a lot of fun trying these 3 games. So, Opossum Country, that was it. Or Opossum County, Opossum Country, County. Either way, that was the other game. And you'll remember that. But yeah, I definitely recommend it as, being part of the QA program. It's actually really fun. I've tried a lot of brand new Game Boy games, which is quite cool. So yeah. Anyway, till next time. It is Friday, July 5th, and game number 18 is finished. And it is Discworld on the PSX. So originally I planned to actually play this on PC, and I downloaded it like a year or 2 years ago. And I think I watched the opening cinematic and be like, yeah, I'll play this. And then didn't. Then tried to come back to it. Then didn't. So a couple of months ago I decided I'm actually going to play this. Sat down and started playing it. And then my son wanders in and goes, oh, what are you doing? I'm like, I am playing a game. And it's like, oh, what kind of game? I'm playing as a wizard. And then suddenly he's fascinated by what's happening on the screen. I'm like, oh no. Anyway, so then he wants to join in as well. So, and I'm not going to sit at the computer and play it because it's not I have to get out of a chair. Anyway, it's not going to be comfortable. Anyway, so I'll go, okay. I have the PlayStation Classic. So I end up loading it onto there, and then, yeah, occasionally after school, for the last couple of months, we've been playing through it. And, with us taking turns, and me telling him, how the controls work and everything. And I think he just enjoys, being a part of it and, doing something on the screen. And Anyone who has beaten this game without a guide is a filthy liar. The puzzles are so like insane. Like how you're meant to figure them out otherwise is like I don't know what they were smoking when they made this, um, but also there's a infamous Easter egg in there which took like a decade or 2 decades to for people to discover, which is the main voice actor for Rincewind says a very naughty word, and I have spent the last half an hour trying to trigger that, and for your viewing pleasure, it is here. I want to be the first person in a game to say fuck. Yes, so you can only do it on the PlayStation port. You can't do it on any of the others apparently. But the game itself, I mean, I've read a bunch of the Discworld books. I haven't read all of them yet, but I've a whole bunch of them, and I've enjoyed it. And I knew about these games. And I wanted to give them a try. And actually, the art, like the backgrounds, like the pixel art, is like fantastic. And the British voice cast they got in there. Like, I honestly cannot imagine a game like this being made now. Not necessarily like either the style of the game or the IP, but like all this coming together, like having people like Eric Idle, if I got that right, Tony Robinson, like people like that. There's no way like you get a game like that now, which is a bit of a shame. It's definitely a product of the '90s, and I'm all here for that. But I mean, it's a game I'd recommend, but unless if you're a masochist, have a guide ready because yeah, you're here for the humor. You're here to hear like the voice lines and see like the animations that go on in the game, and they're great. But the puzzles are batshit insane, batshit insane. So yeah, Discworld, give it a try. It came out on like PC, Mac, Saturn, and PlayStation. If you want to play on PC, you can download it from like an abandonware site. You can find those online anyway. It is Thursday, July 11th, and game number 20 is finished. And it is The Bouncer on the PS2. So it's a game I've heard about like ages ago. I mean, I never had PS2, so I remember seeing the box art, thinking, "Oh, that looks interesting." Hearing about it, and then people said like it's very short. It is by Square Enix, and you could definitely tell it's a Netsu Nomura. If I probably just butchered that name, but one of the like creators of Final Fantasy, Kingdom Hearts, definitely has his kind of art style on it. So I've always been curious about it, and then I was watching Rosbar Ahaha's video, and he also beat it recently. I was like, okay, I'm actually gonna do this. He said it took about 2 hours to beat, and like, yeah, I'll go for that because otherwise, I'm probably gonna keep forgetting about it. So let's do this before I begin my next RPG. Oh yeah, game 19 by the way was .hack infection, which was a separate video. Yeah, so I like the setting of the game. I like the characters. I like the music. The combat could be a bit annoying at times. I'll try how to describe it. So, I mean, it's a brawler at the end of the day. You just fight. The game is pretty much just fight scene, story, fight scene. Maybe a little bit of running around. Fight scene, story, fight scene, story. But during the fight scenes, you can tell this is an early PS2 game, really. In a way, it feels more like a tech demo, because when you're doing the fighting... Oh, okay, first of all, you have no control of the camera. Like, the second analog stick does nothing, which can be a bit annoying at times. And then when you're going to fight, you think you've got close enough to the character. Like, you can't... It seems like you can't get closer. Like, the game is trying to stop, the characters colliding in a way. Like, physics, the polygons, whatever, colliding with each other. But then when you go to, like, fight a punch or kick, you don't hit because you're actually not close enough. And kind of noticed this the worst with like small like ground robot things, which you can't actually punch or kick. You have to do like a low sweeping kick. The amount of times like I didn't connect because I thought I got I couldn't get any closer, but the game was like nope, not close enough. So that was very frustrating at times. So yeah, the combat could have been better. Could have been like. But it's that era of gaming, so I kind of, But with and because the game is only like 2 hours long, there are three different characters, and the majority of the parts of the game you have three characters. There's a couple of bits where you can pick different ones. So there is some short bits where you could have like say different cutscenes possibly or different sections. But after each fight, you get like points, and then you can build up like stats of your character. So it's trying to promote replays because you can carry through apparently like into other playthroughs. I'm not going to do that, but that's something there. Which if you did own the game and wanted to get your mind's worth of it, then it is there. But once you've experienced the story, you've experienced the story. But yeah. Oh, sorry, it's a bit late. So it bounced to PS2. I have no idea how much this game goes for. I did via emulation, but if it's not expensive, it's worth checking out. Like I say, a couple of hours to play through. So yeah, give it a try. Right, till next time. It is Monday, the 5th of August, and game number 21 is finished, and it is Heim's Quest for the Game Boy Color. So game 20 was one of my RPGs, so that has its own separate video, and that was Pandora's Tower. And there's some weird... The webcam is doing weird things, I don't know how to fix it. Anyway, so yes, this was a game that was released via... it was made by Crunchyroll, yes, the anime streaming service, but then got a physical release via Limited Run Games. But they put the ROM up for free on Crunchyroll's website. I downloaded that, and I'm glad I downloaded what I did, because they have now removed it from the website, and it's available via the Android Play or Google Play Store and the Apple App Store. And I'm assuming you have to pay for them now, but yeah. So the game is an unashamed rip-off of Link's Awakening from a gameplay point of view, but that's deliberate. It's deliberate. But the game's story is that you play Heim, who is a member of the local anime club in 1999, and you're watching some anime with your club when suddenly the TV and DVD break. And it turns out that there is a problem because the analog and digital worlds are coming together, and so the world is like glitching out, and you need to go and find a new DVD player, but then you find out you need to save the world. The game's not too long. There's only 3 main dungeons, but there's a map to explore, and there are like side quests to do, which is quite cool. And yeah, so if you find all the health upgrades, there's like 10 of them through the world, then you kind of like make the game very easy, because I found the majority of them before fighting the boss of the 3rd dungeon, and I could just stand there and just kept going hit, and it died before I got anywhere close to death. So, and then when you, just before fighting the final boss, you have to redo those 3 bosses as well, and you get to save and heal in between as well. So yeah, I mean, ignoring that, it's still like a fun game. Like the art style, like the graphics are like, it's just gorgeous, and the music is nice as well. So it is definitely worth checking out. An easy recommendation, go for it if you can track it down. I don't think you can buy physical copies anymore, but maybe get a reprint in the future, who knows. But either way, Heim's Quest for the Game Boy Color. So my previous video, a bit of a mistake, I got the number of games mixed up. So the previous game was actually completion number 22, with the RPG being 21. So I missed out the bouncer when I was going through in my head what I've been playing. So with that in mind, game 23 is finished, and it is Tuesday, August 6th. So yeah, a day later. And the game is Bonanza Bros on the Mega Drive. So this game was set by the Retro Martin as part of the Mega Drive challenge. I didn't beat it as part of the challenge. With continues, I managed to beat it. So yesterday, I started the game to see what it was like, and yeah, as I got along, I understood more how the mechanics work and all that. Then managed to get to. I almost did actually beat it, but I ran out of time on the last level, and then that sets you back to the very beginning of the stage, and then I didn't have enough lives to get through it. I was like, "Arr." Anyway, but I thought, well, I'm gonna. I hadn't recorded my time yet, so I'll do that today, and then see how I go on, and maybe play through the rest of it, which I did, and I managed to get through with one continue remaining, or it was on my last continue. Either way, I beat the game. Yeah, so it is actually more fun than I was expecting, because when I look at the art style, I'm always thinking like, for those wondering, you have to abuse the enemy AI just to get around them and just go for it. That's the way to beat it. Um, yeah, I'd recommend it. I haven't tried it 2 player to see what that's like, but otherwise it's a fun enough game. So yeah, give it a try. So it is Thursday, 8th of August, and game 24 is finished, and it is Morbid, the Seven Acolytes, on the PC. So this is the current game of the monthly Club 52 challenge, where somebody from the community picks a game that we play. Everyone gets put into like a big wheel, and we pick 3 choices. And this is currently Ollie 8-Bit Boy UK's choice. And so I'd never heard of this game before, and it's probably not a game I would have normally picked up, but it was on sale, and there was like a bundle with Axe Kid in Mystical World DX and something else for like a fiver. And I'm like, oh yeah, I've been meaning to pick up an Axe Kid for years, so I was like, okay, now's the excuse. So the game is, there might be beeping in the background, apologies about that, is a kind of like pixel art, and to me looks like a Souls-like, but I've been told by Eddie Rollercore that it is not a Souls-like. It's more like a Zelda-like. But you still have like a stamina meter and also a sanity meter that you have to kind of like keep track of. So the idea is that this is a very morbid, very grotesque kind of world where like 7 people have been taken over by like these. They're not spirits; they're like kind of weird monsters within them. I don't know. Either way, so your job is to go out and kill them all. But when you start the game, you are very like underpowered, and like all of us in the group chat, some of us have really struggled with the beginning of this game. Like when I got to this second acolyte, which you could fight some of them out of order. It doesn't really matter. So for me, that was this woman who was using her intestines as like a morning star. Yeah, and I really struggled with that. And it took me finding a better weapon, which was a random drop, and also leveling up, because before you fight the first acolyte, when you level up, you just get points that you can't use. You don't get your stats don't raise from level ups. You put them into blessings, which is either like more health, more experience, more bigger stamina bar, things like that. So, I level that up a bunch. I level about that. I put my health meter to the highest it can go, and also using some consumables, I finally was able to beat her. And then after that, kind of just clicked for me, and I was able to get through the game relatively easily. Don't get me wrong, like some enemies, it's just easier to go past rather than fight. But after getting my health all the way up, I then put my experience, how quickly you gain experience, I put that right at the top as well. I made that the priority so I could try and get more level ups quicker. It's it's a game that's at least worth trying, especially if you could pick it up when it was on sale. It was like £2 or £3. Buying physical now can be very expensive. I know, Ross Bohoho, he's like picked up a copy off eBay, I think for like 85 quid if I read correctly, and it's just like, okay. So it's not a long game. People saying it's like 2.5 to like 3 hours. It's taken me more like 7 to 8 to 9 because of like doing a bunch of grinding and things. And there's even an achievement if you die 100 times, and I got that about midway through the game, just to give you an idea. So yeah, it's I did enjoy my time with it, even if I was going to drop it once or twice. I'm glad I stuck with it, because this is definitely not a type of game I really play at all. Like, I've never played like Souls likes. I've never played Dark Souls or anything like it. So for me, even though I've told this is not Souls like, it is the first time I've played a game of this type. So yeah, okay. But so I guess I recommend it for the right type of player, but you do have to stick with it and get over that hump. So it's if you can stick it out or not. Anyway, catch you later.